GMAC. Welcome to Paradigm Live, the one place weekly to catch up on all things in the CyberBrokers universe. My name is Mike Carterell. I'm community manager and friendly Degen. I'm reading Merck and thinking Degen. Friendly leftover. And Brianna.
I'm Brianna. You might know me as Lady Diamond Hand. I work on lore and marketing here at CyberBrokers.
And I think today's going to be like one of those tongue twisters. I have a feeling I'm going to be making mistakes, just like I started early today by accident. Let's talk about CyberBrokers in case people don't know what they are.
Yes, so if you're new here at CyberBrokers, we're a metaverse-native media and entertainment company, and we're working on building a captivating universe through our collectibles, our story, and our content.
And go check out our website, cyberbrokers.com. Very immersive experience that you will spend hours on. Make sure to go to our Twitter, cyberbrokers_, and follow us to keep up to speed. We have two collections right now. CyberBrokers, our original collection from last year, and Genesis Mechs from this year. Let's talk about, it's kind of a light week, which is good because we have a great set of guests we want to talk with today. So we're going to talk about the events this week. We're going to talk about metaverse field trips and then touch on bounties briefly. See, tongue twister day. And then the Lume Pad 2. Did you get to see this at NFT NYC?
I missed it while we were running around doing other things, but I know we have some cool videos that Ben from our team has done with them. So I've seen what it can do, and it's really, really cool.
Yeah, so the company is Leia. The product is Lume Pad 2, and we have Marlon Fuentes, a community manager for Leia, and Benjamin Desai from CyberBrokers that we'll bring on in a minute. I'm noticing some things snuck into these slides somewhere. Wonder how those. Let's talk about events this week. So first one, office hours tomorrow, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have any questions about CyberBrokers, new to CyberBrokers, have an idea for CyberBrokers, it's the place to go. Merck or I or both will be there.
And then we have our weekly game night coming up. It's on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Central Time. So you do not have to be a holder to come join. So if you're looking to just meet some new people in the space, come hang out. We usually play Among Us. So come on in, see kind of what our community is about. It's very chill, low-key, nice way to spend Wednesday night.
Yes, and not a lot of crypto talk either. Just fun chasing each other around with knives. Simple stuff. We're going to continue to do metaverse field trips. So these are weekly opportunities to explore 3D worlds and a chance for those who own Genesis Mechs to equip them and wear them and see them live. You'll see them added as Discord events. I want to talk about bounties. So we had, when Pixel Brokers launched, we had two bounties. There was a bounty for a game and a bounty for a tool. No surprise, CBGB won the game bounty with Pixel Broker Run, which everyone was having a blast playing with their Pixel Brokers. He wanted the bounty prize to go to first, second, and third place. So if you are one of these wallets, you got USDC sent to your wallet last week. $250 to first place, $150 to second place, and then $100 USDC to third place. We didn't see any standout submissions for the tool, so that one remains open. If you want to create some tool or tutorial or something, feel free to go ahead and submit that. And for submissions, you want to go at the bottom here, cyberbrokers.com community, and there's a submission form there. Did you play that game at all?
I tried to play the Flappy Bird one.
Yeah, that was tough.
Really bad at it. But that one was funny. That gave me a laugh.
There were quite a few fun little simple games that got created.
Yeah.
So as far as Genesis Mechs, we have 3 bounties there. We're looking for animations using the 3D assets. We're looking for tutorials on things to do. There's a good example. Actually, Ben Desai here created one about how to pose and render your mech. And then we have our 3D creator program where we offer up 10x Genesis Mechs. So people should look into that.
You don't have to be a holder to
Exactly.
You just have to enjoy creating in 3D. So if you're looking for an entry point into the CyberBrokers ecosystem and you know how to work with 3D assets, this could be a great way to join us. You'll get your own Genesis Mech for being a part of the team. You can help us build some, cool stuff behind the scenes.
Exactly. Okay, but before we go on, I think we should probably have a little discussion about quests versus missions, maybe?
Yes.
Put it on the record, maybe?
So yeah, we heard that Josie dropped a little alpha, just a little alpha on a chat this morning, and we're excited. Make sure you're staying tuned because we're excited to announce the coming up version beta missions.
Missions, yes.
So this is to replace our questing system. If you were familiar with us from our first season. So still this idea of, going out and solving things, still a collaborative aspect because we know people love working together with the community and meeting new people, but a little more digestible, and also there will be certain aspects that you'll have more time to complete them. So it's not like you have to tune in once, every month or two and be online for those, 2 days. So a more approachable access point based on feedback from our community. So we're really excited. So again, these will be missions, not quests. And version beta is again this will lead into again our next version of missions. So this is kind of like our bridge between our next upcoming season as well. So we're evolving every season based on community feedback, and we're really excited for where this is going.
Yep. So the key thing there is we're changing the word to reflect that change because quests ran a very specific way, and missions are going to run a different way. Like you said, all based upon community feedback. So missions are coming. Quests were last year. We'll accidentally use the word quests, but we really mean missions.
Yes.
Disclaimer, right?
Make sure you're paying attention to comms because more information will be coming out about that soon.
We should start a new phrase. NQA, not quest advice.
Yes.
Okay. So I think we left a couple teasers that people can go digest, and that's it. We're kind of done. It's gonna be a simple week for this, and let's get into what this 3D AI tablet is.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So first, let's bring up Marlon. Want to introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, my name is Marlon Fuentes, Community Manager over at Leia. Really happy to be here. It's been a wonderful experience getting to know CyberBrokers. We were at NFT NYC together, and it was just so much fun to be able to bring the CyberBrokers world into this amazing technology. So thank you for having me.
Awesome. And I think Ben's been here before, but do a quick intro. Ooh, nice background.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm Ben. I work on creative innovation here at CyberBrokers. I bring in new tech, AI, and all of our creative workflows, plus AR, VR, XR, everything that's new and that we can use in a cool way, basically bring that in. So yeah.
Awesome. We have a couple slides to show first, Marlon. You want to give us a little intro into what Leia is and the Lume Pad? Uh-oh.
Oh no. Marlon froze.
Marlon froze. Yep, you dropped. Ben, want to give us a little intro into... Wait, hold on. He's back.
I'm back. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, cool. Very cool. So yeah, very quickly, Leia is a company. It's been around for just over 10 years. Came out of HP Labs. Some very brilliant physics PhDs out of Stanford basically came up with a very special type of backlight for devices, mobile hardware devices that is called a diffractive light field backlight. I'll spare everyone the heavy science here, which honestly I can kind of barely keep up with myself. But basically what they're able to do is to manipulate light at nanoscale so that when it hits your eyes and you're looking at a tablet or phone or a laptop, you see a 3D image. There's a lot more involved. There's, computer vision involved there so that you get this like perfect parallax. Anybody that was at NFT NYC got a chance to see this. And Ben actually made a very cool demo using CyberBrokers collectibles for the Lume Pad 2, which is really exciting, and that completely blew our minds. And for anybody that's out there that has really enjoyed just 3D in general, 3D art in general, and has really kind of embraced the immersive, like, three-dimensionality of any of these characters. I think this particular device is kind of a glimpse into that future where you'll have a watch and you'll be able to see like a 3D image pop out of your watch or a phone or things like that. So
a bracer. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
In our terms, yes, that would be a bracer. Yes.
Exactly. So let's try this again.
Oh, is it crashing? You're frozen, but we can hear you this time.
Okay, I'm frozen. Okay, maybe. Let's see.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see me.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So do you see the video right now?
We do.
Okay, great.
Oh, now it just disappeared.
Okay, 1 second. Let's try this again.
If not, I can show that video. I've got that video up and ready.
You've got that video?
Yeah.
Okay, great. If you've got it, excellent. Yeah, because I keep trying here and it looks like it's being funny with me.
So Ben, you wanna set up this video?
Sure. Yeah. So I was talking to Marlon, and he sent me over a Leia Pad that I was able to experiment with, and it just made perfect sense with all of our 3D mechs, right? So I took all these mech files, we had them in 3D, and I put them into these different scenes. And then, when you have this pad in front of you, you're able to actually see something that is 3D in it's still its digital form, but actually get that 3D kind of pop out hologram feel. I thought when I looked at it, I thought like holograms exist now, and that was really cool. And then in this video, I even put some CyberBrokers as well, because we have everything layered. So I thought, okay, that's another cool thing, because if you look at if you look at the 2D file, of course it's still always flat, but I took that and just put that on really like these physical layers, which gave it depth, and then I could play around with that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Ben completely blew our minds when we saw this, because this is exactly what these devices are made to do, is to bring in storytelling, to bring in action figures, to bring in heroes, and all sorts of really interesting experiences that can be had, gaming, etc. So for the community, we are very open and invite anybody that's interested in sort of bringing in, the CyberBrokers world into this like future technology through, you mentioned earlier, folks that are interested in 3D. If you do have experience with 3D or are getting into 3D, there's a whole world waiting for you there. You can develop with game engines, for example, and begin to make your own dioramas. You can make your own scenes, games, and of course, just being able to look at them really cool like this is also really fun. There's also a free tool that we're happy to share with the community today. And it basically uses the same AI that converts 2D content to 3D content on the Lume Pad, but in the form of a web app. So this is called Leia Converter. And this is a really fun way for anybody, whether you have this device or not, to be able to utilize the 2D to 3D conversion of this technology. So I'm going to attempt to share my screen here. Okay, so far it hasn't crashed. This is Leia Converter. And for anybody that's watching, you can just go to this URL, convert.leiapix.com. It's free to use. And I've just brought over a couple of little images here that I will utilize for this demo. So in this case, we're able to, here is a,
and this is our Fathom mech, and you've grabbed the 2D picture, right?
Yep.
Yeah, this is just as a demo. Of course, like if you have 3D files, you can of course do this. But if you have just 2D images, you can begin to bring in your animations, and you can do all sorts of really fun stuff with them. You can customize the animation, and really what this is doing. The way that this is able to do this is through AI. So this here is a depth map. Our neural net is basically been able to help say, okay, this is in the front, this is in the back, and the interface itself allows you to animate it. So lots of different animation styles that you can try out. It's free to use, and we love to see people having fun with this stuff. Yeah, excited to see what other kind of storytelling we might be able to do utilizing this tool. But this is a really fun way to just bring a lot of your assets to life and to animate them. So let's try, yeah.
It's just amazing how the simple movement just gives it life, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is particularly interesting for anything that we've not had for folks that are not 3D creators per se, that have not yet learned all there is to taking a model, bringing it in a blender, animating it, and things like that. This is as easy as just upload an image and
Do a few settings, and
yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of fun to play around with. It's been something we've seen used in concert with other types of tools as well to create stories and things like that. And of course, if you have different poses, then that can definitely lend itself to different types of storytelling. And then ultimately, you can share to different formats, as a GIF, as a side-by-side image, which is actually very cool for anybody that would like to then bring this either into a device such as the Lume Pad 2, or they would like to bring it into a VR headset or any type of XR equipment where they can see in 3D, or even if you have those old red and blue glasses to see side-by-side stereoscopic images. These are this SBS format works. A depth map, if you are interested in doing really cool stuff with depth data or a video file, or even Facebook 3D, so you can animate it there. So we do have a bunch of different file types, and of course, yeah, this is free to use for the community, and we're just happy to share these creative tools with folks, and of course, inspired to see people like Ben just go off and really bring magic to this device and experience.
That tool is so cool because you were showing the mechs, which are awesome because it showed that from a 2D image it worked that well. But from the CyberBrokers NFTs themselves, that would work as well. From if you're in the community and you use our Pixie Bolt AI, anything that you generate that has just never existed before, and you use that tool, now it can have all this depth, and you can start to animate it. So it's just a really cool tool. And of course, that's stuff is all built into the Lume Pad 2 as well. And yeah, just from my experiences using it also, it's just super easy. So I am familiar with 3D, but the fact that it was just so easy to get my files on there and it's just as simple as just like opening them up in your like Google Drive, and you're just ready to go, which is really cool, because sometimes that's like an uncomfortable experience that I've found with like some of the new tech that comes out, is trying like getting it to work. So that was also a really cool experience, that it was just working.
So let's just to summarize for a minute. There's a hardware device that's called the Lume Pad 2, and that is available. You can go purchase that now. It's launched, ready to go. Oh,
Can't hear you.
There you go.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, and especially for the CyberBrokers community, we do have a $250 discount. So if anybody would like it, we do have this available for the
pop in
community.
Discord. We'll get that to you. Yep.
Yep.
And so anything you put on that device that's 3D, will automatically pop, and you can see it. And I was amazed. I saw it at New York City. And Ben had talked about it, and the video Ben created, you can actually see some of the 3D, which was kind of amazing by itself. Usually you can't see 3D in video well. But to see it live, and it's just such a cool device. If you don't, if you're not ready to get the device, you have the Leia Pix converter, which will help you create things on a normal screen. Is that the summary so far?
Absolutely. Yes, definitely. Yeah. And, on the device itself, there are a lot of very sort of like futuristic like experiences we had there. This is the first device to ship with 3D chat powered by Zoom. So we partnered with Zoom, and you can actually have a two-way 3D conversation with someone, which is pretty wild. You can also generate art. There is an application called Leia Dream that is able to create prompt-based different types of art as well, powered by Stable Diffusion. You also can do in-painting, so kind of sky's the limit there, because you can bring in your own photos to do that with. So it's a fun creative tool, but as it relates to just collectibles and storytelling, it's just a really like wonderful experience. So open to any questions anybody may have later on. We're always available, and we love CyberBrokers community. It's wonderful. So happy to chat.
We might have to try that Zoom meeting internally. I'll put on our mechs and have a 3D meeting.
Yeah.
Could you explore, or could you tell more about how you could take something and put it into VR from there? I'm not sure I'm understanding that part.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that you can do with Leia Pix converters, you can export as SBS, which is basically side-by-side images. What it does is that it just very slightly creates disparity between these two images, kind of like your eyes would.
Oh, this is the 3D glasses thing. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. And so those types of images, they look like they're like right next to each other. It's like the same picture right next to each other, just offset a little bit. Those are the types of images that you could bring into a VR headset. Ben may also know like more applications for side-by-side images, but this is the kind of stuff that any device that is meant to show 3D content in two different eye views, I think is kind of what it would allow you to do. So if you had a gallery, for example, in a virtual space, you can begin to bring in these images as stereoscopic images.
How, from a tech perspective, I mean, the tech for the hardware device and the tech for the Leia Pix converter is two completely separate things, but yet kind of achieving the same result, right?
Yes, absolutely. And it works in collaboration, because the hardware itself, the hardware tablet itself, the way that you're able to see 3D is because there's a nanotechnology inside. It's a backlight. They call it nano imprint lithography, which is basically this like microscopic, thinner than your hair layer that has these micro etchings on it that when light passes through it, it diffracts the light in such a way that you're able to get a 3D image from. The AI part that is used on the Leia Pix converter, what that does is that from any 2D image, even in real time, like running on YouTube, it actually, it generates the depth. So you see this like dark and lighter shade in there, gray and kind of black. that's like the depth information when fed through this device. It actually gives you that 3D image. So I could take a YouTube video, I could take an image, I can take a video, and I can convert it. The AI does its thing, and then you have like this 3D experience, and that's all thanks to all these technologies working together. So it's quite an achievement, I think, at this point. To be able to have this type of experience. There's been a lot of predecessors to this technology, of course. Many of us remember things like the 3DS, right? Or we may remember things like 3D TVs, that required you to wear the glasses. Many of us have had experiences with VR headsets, for example. And these are all, just different, modalities for experiencing 3Ds. We've got, we're standing on the shoulders of giants, truly, when it comes to like being able to produce this experience. But we believe that we've really cracked it at this point, because the experience is so smooth. It is high resolution, and it is comfortable. And also you're able to turn it off. So some people are very sensitive to stereo. Some people, for medical reasons, like, cannot have the same experience, and so you can simply turn off that backlight. You can turn it down, so it's not a 3D only kind of device. It is an option. So in the spirit of innovation and of future technologies, I think this is one of those times where this kind of happened, and in the future all devices may have this type of option to it, and it's just something that we just move on. It's kind of like spatial audio on Apple products today, where it's available for you if you're a creator and you're making content that has this additional dimensionality to it. The hardware is there to enable that experience for you. So very exciting stuff, and of course we're happy to share this with CyberBrokers.
And you're also looking for creators, people to help showcase applications for using the technology, right?
Absolutely. If there are passionate creators in the community that would like to share what they're building, they want to take things to another level, they want to start to get into app development, or even using Unreal Engine or Unity. Unreal is an SDK that we have coming soon, software development kit, but right now we do have Unity, and we're open to all sorts of collaborations. I'm very excited to collaborate. I mean, that's how I know Ben. Ben was, somebody that I kind of came across like my feed, and I was like, wow, Ben, this is, this is an inspiring creator. So similarly, I'm totally, open invitation to anybody in the community that is inspired and would like to create. We'd love to chat, and of course, even in a very easy way, if you do end up using Leia Pixel Converter, please tag us. We love to amplify the community, and we love to bring communities together. I think that's one of the most satisfying things for me, coming from these spaces, is really being people to kind of introduce each other and to kind of expand, just our total, make the party even bigger, and, introduce people to experiences they didn't think were possible. So absolutely.
Ben, anything else you wanted to touch on with this?
Yeah. Earlier, Mike, before we came on, you were talking about the games that have kind of been already produced by our community. And I think that's such an interesting kind of like crossover point, because there hasn't been, I haven't seen that many examples of games on the Lume Pad 2, but it is possible. I think that is kind of like, you're kind of waiting for the community to catch up to the tech. But in terms of on the Lume Pad, there is this demo game. And it's actually really incredible, because it just shows like where we can go from here. It has all the 3D capabilities. It looks like kind of like all that whole holographic stuff it's coming out. But because of the eye and the head tracking, it's so crazy. It's like this little dungeon game, like from above, you're walking around, there's skeletons, But when you kind of like, you move up, you move just those natural movements you make when you're playing a video game, they actually affect what you see in the game. Like you can peek over the wall a little bit and that kind of stuff. And that really blew me away because one, it was a really great demo of what this 3D AI pad can do. But also like, I was thinking already like, whoa, this is the future of gaming. This is like the future of 3D. And I think that's a super interesting thing, especially for our community, especially with the creators here, the developers, the fact that we have the assets to actually explore stuff like this. Even with pixel brokers, even though they're 2D, I saw some really cool stuff about just the other day online, like people, or maybe it was one creator took the old original Pokemon games, like the 2D stuff, and put them in a 3D environment. And I just see stuff like that on a pad like this with the 3D would just be, revolutionary. So that's totally what came to mind when I put all of this together.
And I think that's what excites us about this is, we're creating these amazing assets, and there's so many different places to use them, and there's so many different ways to use them. And the Lume Pad is a good example of that. Who else has 3D assets like this ready to go and could just drop them on a pad? Now it's time to figure out, okay, now they're there, what do you do with them now? The game is obviously a good starting point, an easy entry point to that.
Yeah, and on the most basic level, you have your 3D mech, you want to show it off in 3D, so you have your 3D pad, and you can at any time just swipe it around and turn it around.
And I was talking to Marlon earlier, and it's almost like a dual device. It's almost like a gallery in your hand, so you can show people your gallery, but then it's also an interaction point like a console at the same time. So it's a little bit of a mix, which I find interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Marlon, I'll share that right in the Discord.
Sure, yeah. You can also connect a controller to the device as well, which is really fun. Just like an Xbox or Android controller, USB-C or Bluetooth, so you can control it with the controller as well. So that's always a fun time.
That's awesome. I wanted to just divert for a second because it leads in a different direction, but I saw an announcement about a keyboard that with AR threw up screens. And it's not prime time yet because it's its own device. It's not like attaching to your laptop. It's a self-contained laptop, and like for people like us, it would be powerful enough to do our 3D rendering on. But it's going that same direction with the tech. Different ways to display and view things that are more natural. And I think that's exactly what the Lume Pad is doing. Is it's natural. It's just it's like we see 3D. Why shouldn't our device be 3D? Brianna, any questions for you?
I'm just soaking it all in. All this stuff is like, I see it through Ben, because Ben does like all these amazing assets for us, and obviously we use them in marketing and in future stuff we're thinking about as we develop things like our missions and like these marketing efforts. So it's cool just to get kind of like the behind the scenes look at it and some of the future capabilities, because I know we think a lot about gaming here at CyberBrokers, and we have, again, like Mike said, all these new assets. So I know all these tools that are now in the hands of everyday creators. It's cool to see what people can make. So yeah, just excited, and I'm glad that we have this code we can share with our community, because I know we've got quite a few creators here in the CyberBrokers, and I'm excited to see what people can create with something like this.
So I just dropped that link, Marlon, in our holders only channel. That way it's limited to CyberBroker holders. So if you're CyberBroker and you're interested in purchasing one, there's an offer in Discord for you. I can't wait to see what comes next. And Marlon, I can't wait to see you at the next conference, just showing that device off. I think next time we need to have, you at a table in a line, just so everyone can get a chance to see it.
We'll have
Um,
a game, that I think that will be the next step is
yeah,
having some gameplay going on. Yeah, that'd be fun.
yeah. A lot of this stuff is seeing. Seeing is believing is the wrong term, but until you see it, it doesn't fully click. And I think like our Genesis mechs were a little bit like that. Until you saw the 3D assets, and you could wear them, it wasn't perfectly clear.
Hmm.
It's similar. This device, once you see it, it's like, got it,
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, and I think the wonderful thing that's happening here is that we're mixing the world of storytelling and fiction, which has always been a precursor to technology and innovation. You had books going back to the 1930s and 40s, like Ray Bradbury talking about in-ear headphones, things that were didn't exist at the time, but to be able to dream of these different experiences and these different technologies, I think this is the really wonderful bridge, right, with cyber brokers and that spirit of invention, and then here we are with actual like hardware technology that is very much kind of a thing of the future, but now coming available. These are the communities that really like surface these innovations, I think, in many ways.
Well, I also like, Ben showed his 3D goggles, and those create an amazing immersive experience, but they're not natural, Whereas the pad to me is a little bit more natural method. So I love seeing that starting to show up versus the goggles part.
Yeah, well, there's so much more 3D happening than like, now more than ever, right? Because there are more creators, we expect more 3D assets. I mean, the fact that, right, like we went from a more 2D to a 3D with just in the cyberbrokers history of things, and that's just for everything. Also, like we're getting to the point where AIs, you type something in and you'll get a 3D asset to work with. Like that's like we're on the cusp of that. Some are already delivering that, and to have a device that's able to, like you said, naturally just do that also seems like the natural progression of this, since there's so many things to view in a 3D format, and you being able to naturally do that on a tablet just becomes it becomes a necessity. It becomes like the next step of what we expect and how we're able to view content.
Exactly. Okay. Any other questions from chat or Brianna? Yeah. Marlon, thank you for that intro and deep dive. If people have questions, pop into CyberBrokers Discord. Happy to help answer them. If you're interested in creating on such a device, pop in there. I'll make sure to connect you with Marlon. Anything else for you, Marlon?
Just thank you, and you had a great time today. I appreciate it, and I'll be popping in the CyberBrokers Discord as well, and hanging out, and sharing good vibes.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was awesome to see that and learn more about it. For our community, remember the word missions, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.